reporter in New York City, and I'd come for the open house that the school holds for the admitted students, and I intended to tackle this like an investigative reporting assignment. I wanted to find out who are the best professors, what are the classes that you can't miss. And so on the front steps of this building, I ran into and introduced myself to a young woman who was sitting on the steps, and I said, I didn't realize it at the time, but she actually was the top student in the graduating class of that year. And I said to her, but she seemed very friendly, and I said, what advice do you have for me as someone coming to Columbia, how to make the very most of my time here? And she had one thing to say. She said, Professor Gissler, make sure you get Gissler for RW1. That student was Andrea Elliott. She's here tonight. You all know her. She would go on to a stellar career at the Miami Herald, later the New York Times. She won a Pulitzer Prize in 2007, her wonderful series about Dasani. She's getting embarrassed and blushing. But all of that is just a testament to the kinds of journalists that have come out of the classroom, the RW1 classroom and other classrooms that have been headed by Sig Gissler. I was really lucky when I got my schedule for that year. The very first thing I saw was Gissler RW1. I can't think of any other single stroke of luck that contributed more to my career as a journalist, and I've had a lot of luck. At the end of our very first day together as a class, he asked us to check for spies and close the windows to make sure nobody heard him, reveal the secret to being a great journalist. After much build-up, he finally revealed the secret. Oatmeal. It was a great introduction to the homespun, no-nonsense style of a man who simply oozed the very best qualities of a journalist. Honesty, integrity, fairness, and a good sense of humor, mostly about himself and us. Anyone who passed through these halls knows that RW1 is a grueling course. It demands endless treks to the Bronx to try to persuade community board members, teachers, clinics, and businesses to tell you their story, despite the fact that you aren't a real reporter. In Professor Gissler's RW1, it meant scouring every page of the New York Times, right down to the briefs, the obits, the obscure corners of the business pages, to avoid missing even one story on his notoriously difficult news quiz. One of my proudest achievements was having the highest cumulative score on that quiz, earning a Hall of New York Times swag long before I ever dreamed that I would work there. Mostly we worked really hard. We did profiles of our classmates. You'd have to empty out your classmate's wallet and write a profile based on whatever you found there. Enterprise stories from your beat, of course, tough deadline writing. I've never worked so hard before or since. And yet there was always this lightness. Professor Gissler knew exactly when we needed a break. Some home-baked brownies from Mrs. Gissler, or a visit to his apartment to watch the balloons being inflated for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which was an annual tradition, and really just a wonderful, wonderful break from a grueling time. Or just a pat on the back or some tough love. I got a little bit of tough love over the years, I must say. Not a day has passed in my career as a journalist where I don't recall some essential lesson from Professor Gissler. Traipsing through Darfur, I'd be grateful